You know it's a fun game?
Huh.
You take 3 eccentric PMs and you see if you could whack off before you fall asleep. You always win is the best part about the game.
Welcome to Black Irish Podcast. Hey there, and welcome to an all-new episode of Black Irish Podcast with myself, Brendan McCorkle, and look who I found! It's Mike Crawford!
You didn't have to find me. I wasn't lost, man. Going through some things, but what's going on, man? How you been?
I'm good. I did tell everybody last week that you were out indefinitely because your text was a little ambiguous, like, hey man, I just need a little time, and I didn't want to put any pressure on you, so I was like, hey, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know when Mike's going to be back. And then here you are, in the flesh, with your red...
Good thing I am back, because at the time I was sending
on.
those texts, I was at a way different mindset. But we're happy now today, so.
Good. I'm glad you're back. Trust me. I text you. I said, very exciting when you text me today. I was like, oh, I did not expect this. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, you get to just walk right back into the lion's den. We got to start talking about farts immediately.
Oh, farts?
Yeah.
That's absolutely disgusting. Unless you did the double, like, the rudder thing where you put it over your wife's head and make her smell your fart. That shit is cool.
No, that's a Dutch oven. The Dutch rudder
There
is
you
when
go.
you grab the other person's arm while you're holding your dick, and they
Okay.
grab your
No.
arm and you do...
Don't do that.
It's not gay. You're holding their arm, not their dick. They're holding their dick, you're holding their arm, and then you both just do that.
That's gay. Sorry.
All right.
I no offense to gay people, because if that's what you want to do.
Is
if
it
you're
gay to do a circle jerk?
Yeah.
How many times have you been gay?
Never.
You've never done a circle jerk?
No.
You've never jerked off in the same room as a friend watching a porno with a blanket over your lap?
Absolutely not, Brendan.
Me neither. It's not like I did it yesterday. Or ever, for that matter, allegedly. Let's get back to farting, the important stuff. I was in the car the other day with my 4-year-old, and we're hanging out. Older brother's at an activity, and we're just like in there. He likes, it was cold outside. He just wants to go in there for a few minutes.
It was cold outside. Did you just say it was cold outside? You live in California, Southern
Listen,
California.
dude, it literally from last week, it went from at like 8 o'clock at night being like 50 degrees, 48 degrees to like yesterday it was 85 degrees. That's what Southern California does. It just flips on a dime. Like when it's ready to be warm, it's warm. Like it's still kind of cold at night, but like by the end of the week, I'll be able to go out 90% of the days until the end of summer with just a t-shirt on no matter what time of day. It's going to be beautiful. But last week it was still on the tail end of being cold for the 4 months out of the year it's cold.
Cold is 48 to him, people. Just so we understand.
To a
what
4-year-old. To a 4-year-old is what I'm talking about, Mike. To a 4-year-old, it's cold. I would have been there with my boy, my 9-year-old.
That you're referencing as cold as a grown man.
Yeah.
And it was how cold again? What was the degrees again? Just for
I
the
don't
people,
know.
one more time.
It was like around 50, 48, something like that for the little man.
Alrighty, people. Now we know what we got some context here. Continue your story, sir.
Yeah, so my 4-year-old didn't want to be out in the 50-degree weather, so I let him sit in the passenger seat of my car. And he's playing this little puzzle game that he likes to do. He's really brilliant with puzzles and likes it. I don't let him play with my phone often, but every now and again, if that's what it is, that's fine. No videos, though. I don't do that. I know I'm weird like that. I don't care. So he, like...
Your parent style.
rips. I'm saying, like... and it stinks. This boy has man poops already, but it is like rank. And like he's playing his game and he's 4, so he kind of like half doesn't realize he did it. And I wait a second and then he's like
doesn't care that he did it.
no, because
But go
then
ahead.
it took a second and then he's like, excuse me, like, and then I was like, dude, okay, thank you for saying excuse me. That was stinky. Not 10 seconds later, guess what happens?
You rip one.
Dad rips a fart, and I couldn't help it. I was like, oh, well, buddy, we're disgusting. And then I had to just open the door. And then he said, Daddy, it's cold outside. Can you please close the door? And I said, no, it's stinky in here. It's not that cold outside.
Roll the windows down, my dude.
We were parked. It wasn't like we were like driving.
Oh.
We were parked.
Yeah.
He's not sitting. My 4-year-old's not in the passenger seat playing games on my phone while I'm headed down the highway. Without a seatbelt. That's
about
crazy.
that. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. So I just had to open the door. So we're a couple of disgusting little fellas there. He calls me big fella these
to me
days.
is that I let go mass farts. They never stink. My farts don't stink anymore. I don't know what happened.
With the food that you eat, they don't stink?
And I eat trash.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You either have to eat trash or you have to eat like really clean. Like, oh man, the other day I had eggs and broccoli for breakfast, and I had tuna out of a can for lunch. Can you imagine what the evening couch smelled like?
I don't even want to think about it. Can we
It
just move
smelled
on?
like a chicken got ate by the sea and farted out some broccoli. It was disgusting. Maybe I ate chicken of the sea tuna. Who knows? It all comes together, man. See what just happened? Synergy of life. Okay, so who are you willing to fart in front of?
I'll fart in front of anybody.
Strangers?
Anybody. I don't hold farts, bro.
What about in church?
Farting.
The Lord knows what your
I'm
body's
home,
doing, right? Who cares about everybody else?
It's a human bodily function. I would say, excuse me, as a grown up should do, but I'm farting, bro.
I love that about you. Do you try and at least taper off the sound?
Yeah, I mean, I will if I can, you know.
Are you a cheek lifter? Do you like put your hand on the cheek and what?
I don't put my hand on my cheek, but sometimes I will lift the cheek, man, lift the leg up, you know.
Do you do the thing where you like keep one side of your body in position? You act like you're gonna scooch over to the next one, but really you're just spreading out so you can kind of.
Just gotta go cut a little lean, man. Make it quick.
So nobody's on the no-fly list. You will fart in front of anybody. Doesn't matter.
No, because you try to hold a fart, and I don't know what that's gonna do to my body, bro. I don't.
What if you're at a funeral?
Fart. Hope it never happens, and I hope it's not a big one, but I'm farting. Sorry. I don't hold in bodily functions, bro.
That's so good. Okay,
Which
so
is
that
why I keep a poop kit in my car with me at all times, so I never have to hold poop either. I'll literally wipe down and poop anywhere, bro.
Yeah, that's more of a skill based out of survival that you got there. Like your ability to just not care and poop anywhere, that's more of like you didn't really have a choice, so you had to kind of embrace it. Now it's kind of a superpower of yours. I feel like that way with my liver. I swear to you. It's like because when you consume weed or whatever, it still gets processed through your liver, and I feel like I have a Viking liver. Like I have the most war-torn, battle-scarred liver that's been through like the most heinous shit, but it came out on the other side, and it's like now it's the most strong liver of all time. Because like, dude, my tolerance for weed should not be so high, considering I was smoking it a lot for a while, and then I backed off. But like, it's just weird. Like I can tolerate way more than I should be able to. I think it's just because I have this Viking war-torn liver. That's just like, don't worry, man. We got you. We'll fight through anything. I'm like, no. Let some of that through, man. Let it through. Come on, man. Help me out. It's cheaper that way. Let it through.
Yeah, there you go. Shit, I wish I can say the same to my body.
So, all right. So considering you're letting farts fly everywhere, you maniac, what's the worst fart you've ever laid out? Like, what was that? Was it like, come on, set the stage for me. Because it sounds like you haven't been embarrassed about any of your farts.
No, the worst fart I've ever laid out, I think I was literally by myself. I literally almost made myself vomit
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
in the
about.
car. It was so, I don't even know why it was this stinky. It felt like I had just released sewage from my butt. Like, I don't understand why it was so stinky. Honestly, that's probably the worst fart I've ever smelled of mine in my entire life.
Oh, and you've never been like super embarrassed about a fart or anything, or like,
Oh, no, no, no. I'm not about to be
have you
embarrassed.
cleared out a
No,
room?
I've cleared out a basketball court before with a fart.
Me too.
Like the whole gym left was like, yo, hell no. There's no way you should stink that bad. Like left. Stop mid game. We were playing basketball. Mid game, it stank. Everyone left out the gym. Was like, yo, you can have the gym by yourself for like 5 minutes. Like, well, you need to let something go. But that still wasn't stinkier than the one I was in the car by myself.
One of the top 5 stinkiest farts I ever laid was at said basketball game in warm-ups in a church league that I played center, and so much to the point where they asked me to leave warm-ups and I was benched. I didn't start that game because they're like, you need to take more time. Don't come around us.
Yo, that is absolutely disgusting.
That was the
in
closest I've
church
ever came to being embarrassed, because it's really hard to embarrass me. I'm just like, hey man, sorry about that, but it did just happen. I can't undo that. But getting benched for a fart, that's pretty, that's pretty heinous.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up, especially if you're good. They can kiss my ass. I'm still starting farting all.
My worst is when I'm like get on a hard-boiled egg kick, because one of my favorite things to eat is hard-boiled eggs with sriracha sauce on it. Just take a few bites and it's delightful. But man, the ass reaper is coming, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. I have to if I have one, I might as well have 10, because it's just the rest of the day everything's gonna smell like that. It's disgusting. Just like somebody sat a piece of salmon out in the sun for 6 hours and shoved it up a butthole. It's disgusting.
Yeah, just poop. Just get it out your system.
Oh, I do, but the fart is the prelude to the poop. And
that's why your fart stinks so bad. And see, that's why I don't fart when I feel like poop is there. I poop. So my farts usually come through a clean passageway, not a poop passageway. That's at least what my doctor tried to explain to me.
I don't know. I can't sit down unless I feel like it's going to be worth it. If I'm like, man, this is going to be a partial turd, like I feel taken advantage of if I only have a partial turd.
Yeah, if you've had stomach and issues like I have, anytime I feel like you got to go, you just go. You don't even play around.
Fair enough. Your body's used to evacuating. It kind of helps you out on that.
Yeah. Gotta go.
Well, speaking of science, I brought something up last week by myself, but I definitely wanted to circle back with you. Would you be okay with stopping science exactly where it is right now? Like starting tomorrow, no more science.
No.
Why?
Sure, that's the only way you're gonna cure some of these diseases and shit.
Correct.
Science. So,
however,
I wouldn't want you to stop trying.
But here's the thing. If technology no longer advances in any way, we have what we have and we can improve upon what we have. We just can't make any new technology.
No, so technology and science are two different things.
Well, within science is what I'm talking about. Okay? I'm talking about artificial people, cloning, artificial embryos and wombs, and just basically different ways to build an army in a warehouse. What if we cut that out? Cut out all these.
I'm okay with cutting all that out, but if you have to cut out
here's the
all
thing:
the
the trade-off is that there are no more new cures. There are no more new anything like that.
Then I don't want that.
Then you want to take the risk of whatever these wackadoos keep doing with technology.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: is technology and science are becoming more accessible to regular people like us. That's scary.
It is, but it's not. Like, you gotta think, 20 years ago, Magic Johnson was the only person that can get the shit that can cure HIV. Now they got the shit playing on commercials. You
exactly. But
insurance.
That's my point. That is exactly my point. So we do have certain technologies that can cure certain types of cancer. So what if instead of trying to just quickly keep going to the next thing, what if we just improved upon it? Would require us to, as a society or whoever does this type of shit, focus on what we already have to improve it and make it better, instead of just trying to make it quicker, better, faster all the time. So everybody could have these cures for certain things that only these 1%ers are doing. But if all of the treatment and focus went into improving that, then maybe it can be widespread for whatever we do have cures for now. So there are some benefits to it.
I mean, there's a given curve, but like I said, if it has anything to do with stopping the ongoing of curing of AIDS, cancer, alopecia, whatever they're working to try to cure.
Alopecia?
I just threw something out there. I don't know if they're trying to cure that or not, but yeah.
I don't think that's on the same level as cancer.
No, it's not. It's part of the cancer process, though. Like, you lose your hair, right?
Yeah. I think that's chemo more than cancer.
There you go.
But I'm not certain of that. I think cancer just kills your whole
body. I said the
vibe.
cancer process, and there's no chemo without cancer. So
no, that's not true. There's a ton of people that refuse chemo. I think I would refuse chemo if it was like, this ain't gonna help. I'd be like, thank you.
Listen to what I said. There's no chemo without cancer.
Oh yeah.
I didn't say there was no cancer.
Well, that's not
chemo.
true. That's not true at all. I'd do chemo if I didn't have cancer, though.
Like, you just said you do.
I wouldn't if I had cancer.
But you would do it.
And it was like inevitable. Yeah. Like as a test thing. Like, hey, what happens? Who knows?
Hey, Brendan, the next person who listens to this show and actually sees Brendan in person, smack him on the back of the head one time for me, please. Probably my guy, Drunken Stoner. I know you're watching. You're my guy. You're gonna see him at a comedy show soon.
Why is he your guy? I mean, shout out to Drunken Stoner, but why is he your guy?
I just know he's gonna see you. Y'all do a lot of shows together. Y'all spend a lot of time together, and I know he watches the show.
We don't do a ton of shows together. We just tend to promote a lot.
Oh, each other's stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
But or Dow Pal, she can smack in the back of the head for me. Or I know Mickey's not old enough. Yeah. 3 years from now, when you see this episode, Mick.
Okay, but what about this with science? Okay. What if science goes so far to where Jurassic Park becomes a real thing and they bring dinosaurs back?
All right, then they've gone too far, but they can't bring something back that was never here, Brendan. They can't bring something back that is never here.
Okay, what if they create dinosaurs?
Then they've gone too damn far.
Would you be terrified?
Looking at, like,
would you be terrified if there was a pterodactyl flying over DC?
I would be terrified. I would lose all of my shit. Like all of my entire brain mass would be gone. That would fucking drive me crazy.
All right,
I wouldn't go outside ever.
I'm only on board with science continuing if they start bringing back dinosaurs. That's my rule.
The hell with dinosaurs, Brendan. So would you like dinosaurs, man? Why would you want dinosaurs here anyway?
You never watched Dinosaurs, the TV program? Not the Mama? Come on, that was the shit. That was an amazing show.
They ain't gonna be like that, bro.
That show holds up, by the way. I went and started watching it like a year ago to see if like my oldest son would like it. I'm like, dude, this is hilarious. Earl is the best.
It was pretty funny. I'll give you that, but.
And for sure that family is black, right?
I don't remember the details of their background, so I'm not gonna say they're black. They probably were played by black actors. It sounded like, but it could have been white actors. We don't know. People think that I'm white.
I know, but the family dynamic. It seemed like it was. I'm just kidding.
I don't really remember the whole dynamic of the show. That's why.
I just wanted to see if I could get a rise out of you. But speaking of dinosaurs and whatnot, let's have an animal callback real quick. Real quick. If you could have science change you into any animal today, what would that animal be?
I don't know. Whichever animal lives the fucking longest. A whale. They probably live a long time. Yeah.
A whale.
And I'd be the biggest, maddest motherfucker in the sea. Yeah. Call me Free Mikey.
That was a killer whale, an orca whale.
That's
Not
what I'm
like,
talking about, baby.
well, that's
I
not
ain't
the
trying to be no
biggest
punk ass
whale.
whale.
Like a blue whale or a sperm whale, those things are gigantic.
Yeah, but those things ain't fighting shit. They don't really defend
You
themselves.
said you wanted
Somebody
to be the
attack them.
biggest and baddest. Now you just want to be the
That's part
baddest.
of being the baddest. You got to mix the two. You can't just be the biggest and be a punk ass. Like I want to be the biggest and baddest. The biggest mixture of the two is probably some big ass shark, but I don't want to be like a mean guy. So okra whales are nice.
You don't
unless
have
you
to be
fuck
a
with
mean shark. Now that you say that,
them.
that's
Yeah.
probably the thing that I would be. Because a shark, the reason why I have that shark mentality is sharks are never still. That's it. They're never
I'm-
idle. It's not a shark
I'm
mentality
pretty
like you got to
sure-
kill everything all the time. Because there are nice sharks that are like puppies with teeth and weird faces.
Those sharks don't exist, buddy.
Yeah, they do.
No,
I
they're
think they even
literally
call
the
them tiger
savages of the
sharks.
ocean. They're like the savages of the ocean, bro.
I know, but they're savages because they never sleep. They're never idle. They're constantly moving. Even if they're going at a slow and steady, just waiting in the water, they're constantly moving. They never stop moving. So maybe I'd be a shark. You convinced me to go in the sea. I didn't even know I was going to do that. I thought I was going to be a giraffe today.
Well, shout out to me and my killer whale life. 'Cause, you know, chilling.
All right. Free Willy indeed. Let's switch to sports. It's about that time. Let's switch to your boy who some people are going to call some type of animal. I will never do it. I know you'll never do it.
Never, ever, ever.
But how do you feel about LeBron becoming the all-time NBA leading scorer?
I respect his longevity award. To play this long and stay healthy for this long, I respect. I think years to come is going to come out. He was definitely on HGH. But until the story breaks, I'm going to go ahead and give him props for
Listen,
being
dude,
healthy for this
if
long.
for nothing else, the proof is in his hair. Those little buds just started growing out of nowhere after he tried to spray paint his hair on for like 3 seasons. He's taking something. I wonder how long the hairs on his balls are. Jesus.
Well, I'll give him a longevity award. To score that many points over and play for that many years is a hell of a feat. I don't think his record is going to last as long as Wilt's, though.
No way.
I think it's the way the NBA is now. People are scoring at an all-time high rate. Like guys like Luka and stuff, they played 19, 20 years. They're going to crack that record.
Steph.
Because LeBron. Yeah, Steph.
Well, that's the other thing is like that doesn't get factored in a lot here is LeBron was shooting a lot of threes.
Yeah, at the end. At the beginning, not so many. But, yeah, he shot a lot of threes.
And Kareem did not.
Kareem, compared to Kareem.
Yeah, Kareem did not.
Kareem
And then
has-
Steph
he
shoots
literally has
even more
one.
than LeBron, which means he's also not going in the paint and getting dirty. He could have a long 17, 18-year career playing horse from behind the three-point line. You know, he could do that Ray Allen thing for the last 5 into his early 40s. He could just be like, yeah, no problem, man. Just post up, boop, 3. Thanks very much for the playoff chance. You know, easy peasy.
So that's what it'll come down to. It'll come down to longevity. But, it's a hell of a feat. The funny thing is, 2 funny things I took away from last night. First is they still fucking lost. Stink ass.
I could have.
And-
The line on it was 6. And I was like, dude, I remember like Kobe's game. All they do is just feed him the ball, which means they only have to defend one person, really. So
And
those
then he
games
breaks the record at the end of the third, and you want to know how many points he scored to try to help his team win in the fourth?
Goose.
2.
Oh.
2. So, like, the numbers don't mean wins. This is about wins and losses, bro. Your team is trying to make the playoffs. So you should have tried to win the game. And the second thing, the wildest shit I took from the night, which I found out later on Twitter, could you guess?
The Anthony Davis face?
No. Could you guess what sneakers his sons had on while sitting front row on their dad's biggest fucking night?
Did he have Kobe's on?
No, they both were rocking Jordan.
Oh.
Both of the kids. Both of the kids got on MJs. when your dad is literally compared to this dude all the time, and they try to tell him he's not the GOAT because of MJ, and on his biggest night of breaking the record, both of you are sitting front row with a fresh pair of J's on. It literally was the funniest thing. I thought it was the funniest shit. I was like, yo, your kids are telling you right now who's the real GOAT. But, Dad, we're going to celebrate you. Because there's no damn way if LeBron was my dad, I wouldn't have had on a pair of fresh South Beach 9s. South Beach 9s would have been in effect on that day. There's nothing else.
Yeah,
like,
that does seem super odd.
They both had on J's. I was like, oh man, that's wild.
I did not see that. I did see Anthony Davis just sitting on the bench being a curmudgeon, which was hilarious. He's just like,
that's why they lost.
Scoring
he
title.
wanted to play sidekick to LeBron, and he was like, yeah, we're gonna let LeBron do his thing tonight, but I'm gonna suck and we're gonna lose. So
yep. Anthony Davis having that Anthony Davis attitude once again.
And did you hear the story about why Magic told him he better do it? He better do it last night.
Why?
He said, "Because you wait to Thursday, it's probably not going to be a big deal. They're going to be talking about the Super Bowl."
It's true though.
Everybody knows who's king. NFL's fucking king.
100%.
What's going on? LeBron gonna be breaking an all-time 40-year-old score record. It doesn't matter. The Thursday before the Super Bowl, the world's going to be talking about the Super Bowl.
For the next 4 days and then the 4 days after. Deal with it. Actually 3 days after. It's a week-long event. It's like Thursday to Wednesday.
Doesn't that suck for all you other sports that compete?
Well, dude, like we'll get to it, but one of my new favorite shows, The Last of Us on HBO Max, they come out on Sundays, like weekly on Sundays, like old Soprano style, like Sunday evenings. It's tune-in time, whatever. They moved it from Sunday to Friday, I think, because they're like, no, non-compete, no worries, man. We want our ratings. Y'all have it. We'll move it for a week, and if our people don't realize till Sunday, fuck them. Doesn't matter. They don't care. Don't compete with Super Bowl.
Anything. You don't compete with NFL. Period. Just leave that shit alone.
Yeah, you lose. Like, there's a reason why Sunday night programming starts at 8:00 after 8 o'clock Pacific after the NFL games are over. Regular games that they go out of the way for. They move their schedule based on big games like the Super Bowl. The NFL is king shit of everything.
They are when it comes to TV, so leave them the fuck alone, people.
It's like the NFL owns everything that streams from like cable, satellite, anything service, and then YouTube dominates the internet. Those two titans.
I don't like what I heard from. I don't like what I heard from the commission today. They start flexing fucking Thursday night games. It's gonna fucking blow me.
What do you mean?
Because they asked him about, he gave his little state of the NFL address and shit.
To where they leave Thursday night open to where they don't know who's going to play yet?
Yeah.
That's such a bummer for teams. You can't do that. That's like 3 days prep.
How you going to flex a team who just played Sunday because you like the matchup into a Thursday game? Like, that's bullshit, bro.
And you're making teams go all over different countries starting. So, like, they're turning it. I think Roger Goodell's been hanging out with Vince McMahon, and he's like, "What'd you do to those wrestlers in the 80s and 90s? Make them all work as hard as they could, grind? Yeah, let's do that." Ugh, this guy. Well, NFL and NHL actually had their all-star games this past weekend, and look,
and they both sucked.
They both suck. Listen, the NHL all-star game, I don't know why they split it into 3 teams. Ridiculous. This could be the most fun all-star game of all the 4 major sports. All you have to do is take out checking. They used to do it in the 90s. I used to watch them. Nobody would check. Everybody would do all their fancy passing and stick skills. And then if there was somebody that had a rivalry, they would hustle up and down the ice like with each other. And everybody else just kind of like, okay, whatever. Like, that could be one of the old... It could be like a skills competition within the game. And then they just... They ruin it.
They ruin all these all-star games.
And then NFL... NFL, oh my God, the split in skills competitions when they're in the middle of like setting up the next thing on the field of the flag football thing. And
You know, when I was done, when they were doing the greatest catch shit, and he was trying to catch the ball off of whatever fucking tower from who was that? Kerry Collins throwing him past Justin Jefferson, and I said, you know what, this ain't for me, buddy.
yeah, I mean, the player, it like, I saw an article that came out. I only read the headline because it's ridiculous and it's obvious, but it was like NFL player or flag football game goes over well with NFL players. It's like, yeah, of course it did. The NFL doesn't drug test after the season's over, first of all. Second of all, the chances of getting hurt in a flag football game when you're high as balls is exponentially less than a real football game. And anybody that was wearing glasses on that field was high as shit, especially Ray Lewis. Did you see his he was the opening like ceremony. He was a master of ceremonies. Did you see that?
No. I told you I stopped watching after like Thursday when I saw.
You stopped watching the entire process. So I only tuned in at noon on whatever day it was, Saturday or Sunday, because it was like after my son's basketball game and he wanted to check it out. And Ray Lewis is like the master of ceremonies, kicking things off, and you're just like, oh, I get it. The bigger the glasses, the higher they are right now. That's great. And everybody's just running around the field, kind of hot dogging it. It's like, yeah, it's great. And then, like, you know, towards the end, it gets a little fun and serious because, like anything, which is what I was kind of hoping. Because in the beginning, it was just kind of everybody's dogging it. Just like, it didn't, whatever, who cares? We'll kind of try. And then the more the games went on, the competitiveness started coming out. And they're like, yeah, this is fun, but you know what? I'm still the fucking man, so get out of my, you know. And then by the end of it, Jalen Ramsey's like shoulder tackling people at the goal line. It's like, hey, whoa, okay. Like it was getting.
What happened to Tyreek Hill? He said he got decleated.
Yeah, it was Tyreek Hill that he hit because it was some, like, I forget who caught. I think it was Devontae Adams was going in, and Jalen Ramsey was going in to get his flag or whatever. And as it was at like the 1 yard line, so at the last second, Devontae goes to pitch it right back to Tyreek Hill. So Jalen Ramsey kind of is already reaching for this one, so he just takes another step because now Tyreek Hill has the ball, and they meet, but Jalen Ramsey was already going there, and Tyreek Hill was like not expecting it. So Tyreek Hill fell off his ass, and Jalen Ramsey's like, well, I was just kind of running towards the pylon, and you got in the way. But so it did end up becoming a little more competitive, which was good, but they kept splicing in all these ridiculous, like, pre-recorded skills competitions, tic-tac-toe when you got to kick the ball. It's just dumb. I just thought it was hilarious because everybody was high.
That being high always makes it better, buddy. Especially for entertainment value.
Well, speaking of entertainment value, do you think good old Tom is going to make good on his 10-year, $375 million deal with Fox Sports?
You damn right he is.
He's going to make... It's the highest sports broadcasting contract in history. He's not starting till next year, which is nice, so he could go take the next year off and go pound puss wherever he feels like it. You know that's what he's doing. He's just going to go party and do whatever. He's going to go hook up with Urban Meyer, and they're going to travel the world, baby.
That dude's in the corner crying, man.
No, he's not.
He's in the corner crying somewhere that he had to retire. The only thing he loves is football. He probably don't even like girls. That's why Giselle left him. All he loves is that brown pigskin, bro. That's all that man loves. I don't even know if he made those kids. Somebody need to check.
That and Gronk. Maybe him and Gronk go party all over the world. Maybe that's the plan.
If Gronk gets a hold of him, now he'll be partying. You're right about that.
Yeah, since they're both retired, maybe that's the plan. They go all the Gronk parties with TB12 as the get TB12 shots in your arm and one in your ass.
TB12, yes.
And the other old guy contemplating his future, Aaron Rodgers.
And I'm mad as shit that Devontae came out and made that like speech. Oh, I want him because I wanted him to get traded for Dak. I'd take Aaron Rodgers right now for Dak, straight up.
Yeah, you'd probably take a lot. What? Okay, let me ask you this: would you take Trevor Lawrence for Dak straight up?
Yes, I think if they're a top 15 quarterback in the NFL right now, except for Kirk Cousins, I don't want Kirk Cousins. I'm better off just keeping Dak. Give me a Garoppolo. I'd take Garoppolo right now.
You might get him.
I think we got. Yeah, I honestly believe we have a 49ers type team.
Would you
maybe not
accept
maybe not
a trade?
all the weapons, but I think our defense could have the chance to be a little better.
Would you accept a trade for Trey Lance in a 3-way deal?
But you don't want Dak. Where's Dak going?
That's what I'm saying, a 3-way deal. If we somehow could unload Trey Lance to you, would that be an upgrade to Dak?
I'm taking. I don't know.
See, that's why I thought it was a good question.
I don't know if it's an upgrade, but I'd take him. I'd rather take the chance and okay.
There's more of a ceiling with Trey Lance than there is with Dak.
And there's that unknown, right? I know what I have with Dak.
Exactly. You have a Kirk Cousins that is more exciting in the playoffs. They can't win.
Exactly. And they give him $40 million, so in his mind, he is someone else. If they could get him to play like Brock Purdy, like if you could be, there's weapons everywhere. Now, I love the fact that we're changing offensive coordinators, but we have weapons everywhere. Pollard did get hurt, so it was kind of the downside. But if you can get him to play like, that's why I'm okay with, like, if they were able to cut him, but I don't know what the cap hit would be. I literally would be fine with pouring that money into the weapons around him and playing Cooper Rush. Like, I literally believe we have that much talent on my team. I truly believe that. Especially next year, offensive line, when Steele comes back, we're going to have to find somewhere to put like, we're going to have so many offensive linemen that we're going to have to find somewhere to put a first ballot Hall of Fame. Like, we're going to have to find somewhere to put him if Terrence Steele is healthy. Because Terrence Steele is playing right tackle. He was playing that well before he got hurt. So, like, either Tyron's going to go back to left or he's going to have to play guard because I really don't want him to go back to left. I want Tyler to stay at left. We'll have 2 all-pro guards and 2 young tackles that I have a lot of faith in. What? Put Cooper Rush behind that line with Pollard and another weapon, give me another receiver and throw some more pieces on the defense, I'd be perfectly fine with that. But no, they're going to fucking pay Dak $45 million to stink. I don't care how good he looks next year in the regular season. You won't hear me talk any shit about him because I know what's going to happen when it comes to playoffs. We can go 17-0. Playoffs come, he's going to fold.
Divisional Dak will show up again.
You can't tell me otherwise. So I'm over him, but I won't be drafting him anymore in fantasy. Fuck that.
By the way, how fun is it now that the Niners have the stronghold over the Cowboys in the playoffs? It's only been fucking 30 years in the making.
Yeah.
That early 90s shit, I'm over it now.
You own us.
Thankfully. Not anybody else, though.
So
basically, Aaron Rodgers is going to go get faded on ayahuasca, trip out for 4 days, and then get paid. He's going to come back and be like, okay, here's where you're allowed to trade me. Good luck. I'm going to keep growing my hair again until this fades out of my system. He's a wild man. It's so great that Green Bay is so perfect because they don't give a fuck about anything except for their football team. They're like, you could do kind of like Ben Roethlisberger in Pittsburgh. They're like, do whatever the fuck you want. Do whatever you want.
He goes to foreign countries and does this shit where it's totally legal to do, so nobody can do nothing to him.
I know, but the fact that nobody even cares. They're just like, yeah, talk about it on the radio. You want to fire the coach? Fire the coach. I don't give a shit. Do whatever you want, buddy. We lost Brett Favre. We don't want to lose you, too. They don't care. They'll do anything.
They want to keep him, but he wants to go.
Yeah, he does. He just wants to. And that's the thing is where, like, that Vegas thing that I was saying, he doesn't necessarily have to be on the West Coast, but the closer he can get, the better for him. And Vegas is a hop, skip, and a jump. It's a 45-minute helicopter flight to San Diego. It's a 20-minute private jet over to San Francisco. He's going to be just fine.
Yeah, he wamboozled them. He got them to give him the contract, and now wherever he goes, they're gonna have to pay him that amount of money.
Plus,
wamboozled the.
He's gonna get the Max Scherzer Mets deal to where he's going to have a player option for 2 years after that, up to a 3-year contract. And then he can go sign Green Bay for a day or a year and retire.
Wamboozle. I'm
Hey,
telling you,
good on
I ain't
him.
gonna lie. Last year was the off season of quarterbacks wamboozling organizations.
Bonanza.
And Rodgers got wamboozled the Packers. Your boy Russell
Wilson was egregious. Still is. Will be one of the
he
worst
pulled-
signings ever. It's like the Carl Crawford of the
like
NFL.
He might have pulled the Houdini act of all time because he got them to give him $200 million, and he is trash.
Old
Like,
trash.
so bad.
Old trash. And he
your
still
boy,
has I read an article where he still has an entourage that he brings to the facility. It's his mental quarterback coach. His, he's all weird and Ciara or whatever. He's got his like nutritionist. He's got his this. He's got his that. And Sean Payton's like, yeah, we don't let outsiders in the building. It's our staff and our players, and that's it. So no more of this.
He has his own office.
I know, it's ridiculous. Like, they should have just made him a player coach. That's the only thing that makes sense, giving him that much money.
$200 million, yeah,
and an office.
And an office.
I did not know about the office.
His wide receiver said, yeah, he does have an office, man, because he's so dedicated to winning.
Sure. He's dedicated to being a prima donna.
Because his mansion that his $200 million buys is not close enough and does not have a big enough video room. Nah, he needs to get away from Sierra. The kids come to the facility so he can refund it, watch this shit, and study it. Man, get the hell out of here. He wamboozled the Broncos so fucking bad. He made them bend over and kiss his left nut, then pick up their face, bend back over and kiss his right nut. My goodness, he swambled them for the biggest contract that they ever gave him a quarterback and a corner office, bro. And a corner office.
That's like when somebody in the corporate world is.
Tom Brady never had a fucking office at the Green Bay facility.
But that's like when, it's like in corporate America, when they entice you, where they're like, "We'll throw in any car that you want. Like, let's go pick a car." You know what I mean? It's like it's the same thing. Like, you can have an office in the building, and we'll provide that for you. Yes, it's so fucking funny. He sucks so bad. I mean, what's really sad is he's getting paid now what he should have been paid 8 years ago. So kind of it balances out, but it really sucks for the Broncos.
And that's why he did it to wamboozle them, because he was like, yo, I missed out on all this money when I was actually looking good. Yeah. And now I know I'm going to look trash, so I need to get it.
Get it before they see me.
Who else wamboozled? Oh, they're not the only two. Oh, Kyler. Kyler's another wamboozler. Yeah, he wamboozled them. He
straight up doesn't show up to film, and they extended him. And then was like, hey, by the way, back off, guys. Okay, Cardinals are going to suck forever. Good for you.
He'll be out of there in 2 years, bro. When that contract can get ripped up, he'll be gone. All these guys wamboozling people out of their money. But what they did do is open these doors for all watch the numbers on these next round of quarterback contracts. It's going to be utterly ridiculous. This Joe Burrow, Herbert, who else is coming?
Joe Burrow is going to get an $800 million contract with the Cincinnati Bengals.
All these new dudes.
Trevor Lawrence. If the Jaguars can win a couple of playoff games, they'll back up a Navy ship full of money into Florida to give that man anything he wants.
All these young dudes, man, I'm telling you, like it's just about to be one after the other.
You forgot. See, here's the problem, though. Here's the problem. Is you did really well, but you said that the biggest wamboozle was Russell Wilson. That's not true. You're forgetting about our boy Deshaun.
Well, he didn't really wamboozle. I think he's going to be good.
Do you remember the way they structured the contracts, though? Where he only lost like $4 million out of his $250? That is a wamboozle.
He didn't even lose $1 million.
He lost hundreds of thousands of dollars.
He lost over the first year of his deal. He was scheduled to make the vet minimum, which is $900,000. So all of those prorated checks that he were prorated out of 900,000. So he literally lost pennies. And next year he's going to make like 50.
He starts at like 40
I
million,
think
then 42, then 44, and then he gets to get out of Cleveland and re-sign a $400 million deal with whoever he feels like it.
I take it back. I'm wrong. I was wrong. Lamboozle of the year is Deshaun. The only thing that makes Deshaun a little different than Russ is Deshaun can still play, I think.
Yeah.
So he's going to have a chance to actually be good, and they can make some money off him. He win 2 playoff games in Cleveland. They're going to sell enough shit to make $200 million back.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And don't let them make an AFC championship game. Shit, they might double the value of the city. I promise you. Like, they're going to be buying everything in Cleveland. Anything with Cleveland's name on it, they're going to be buying it because Cleveland have those type of fans.
Yeah, they have nothing else.
Yeah, man.
Again, you get these Midwest
that was a hell of a
towns.
He pulled a Kobe. R.I.P. to Kobe 24. He pulled a Kobe with that deal. Because for all those who don't know, Kobe got his deal done the same way when he was facing those allegations.
Yeah.
So he can go buy that $3 million ring. He was like, yo, drop the bag on me now. I need this front end. I need front ended now. I'll sign the 5-year deal, but I need a boatload up front because I got some money to give away. Couple people need to be paid.
We got some damage control money that we need to spend here. Hey, how do you want the optics of the team to be? Help me, help you.
There you go, buddy. Look, we're gonna make this all go away quietly, but it's gonna require money. So look.
Oh man. All right, Super Bowl preview. Eagles, Chiefs. We don't need to dive in too far. Who do you have as a winner?
I think I'm gonna go Eagles. I think I don't know, man. Chiefs. I'm gonna go Chiefs. Fuck it. I don't want Mahomes to win, but I think they're gonna win. I think their line will hold up. If their line holds up, they win. If Eagles' defensive line dominates, it might not be close. Because their offensive line is gonna hold up pretty well, I believe.
Yeah, Chiefs defense is going to be exposed. I truly think that the Eagles will score like 31 points in this game.
That's what I said. I think they'll score, but I think Mahomes can outscore them if his line holds up like I think it is.
Now, I'm going to make a decision after I talk this through because the line is 1.5 Eagles. But like all the winning indication percentage, blah, 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 is leaning towards the Chiefs at like 52% chance of victory or whatever, which is basically nonsense. Patty Mahomes says his ankle's better. You've had 2 weeks to rest. It better be better. Like, what are you talking about? That's silly. That's nonsense talk. So I think the Eagles are my locked in number for the Eagles is 31. I think they score 31 points regardless. Now, whether Kansas City scores 35 or 18 is the difference.
I would love it to see the Eagles win because I don't want to see Patty Mahomes win. I don't like these anointed quarterbacks. Like once you start anointing people, that's when I stop liking Brady. Now he's the next one. So now I don't want to see him win. Now I'm a hater. I used to be a fan, but now that everybody's on his balls, I'm a hater. I don't want to see him win.
Interesting.
Probably will, but
I don't want the Chiefs to win. Although I don't, for whatever reason, I have the same thing where I'm like, yeah, I just don't like watching Patty Mahomes win that much. I don't like the fact that their offense is 2 players. That bugs the piss out of me. Like, it's fun. It's incredible that 2 players are better than 11 a lot of the time. But I like the complete package team victory, like being able to rely on all of your things and never being like, oh my God, we're going to get crushed here. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and that's going to be tough because Eagles have the lineup to match up. Like they have, what's your boy? Your boy 23 to match up with Kelsey, and they'll probably throw a linebacker underneath the double team. And they can man up on corner. Like they have supposedly two of the best corners in the league. So if that's the case, their pass rush should be able to get home. We'll see if that happens on Sunday.
If they can rush 4, have a defensive back linebacker combo on Kelsey, and blitz, every.
Oh, they're going to have Gardner Johnson on Kelsey. That's the matchup. It'll be Gardner Johnson. He'll probably have some help, but that's going to be the matchup. Gardner Johnson is going to take him all day.
But that's what I'm saying. There
I'm
still
so
has to be
confused.
some help there. But if they can get there with 4 and let the linebackers play in the middle of the field for the most part, I think that's going to spell trouble for Kansas City. Now, if they're doing the thing where they're like, let's get after him, let's pressure him, let's play wild man ball, I think Patty Mahomes tears them apart.
Well, it should be a fun
I think
game.
if the Eagles are too aggressive on defense, they will lose this game. Because I think that they do have the athletes to just play their positions and be better athletes than the person on the other side of the ball.
I do too. I think their trenches are better on both sides, but I think
It's the way that they scheme
Kansas
it.
City
If they
has
don't,
Mahomes.
if they get taken advantage over the middle, they're toast.
Yeah, if there's no middle pressure. If Cox and those guys are not getting middle pressure, Mahomes can beat you, even if you're the better.
I'm going with the Eagles. 31-18, 13-point victory.
Ooh, that's a hell of a victory. You put that in, you can win a lot of money. I'm sure that's like the odds on that is probably.
I think they're like plus 675 or plus 825, something like that. And I am going to bet it.
Man. I would do it.
I'm going to bet the Eagles to win by like 7-12 and like 13-18. And get whatever.
As much as I want the Eagles to win, I think Kansas City's going to win. It'll probably be a close game, 6-point game. I would say 37-31. No. I was taking your score. I'll go 34-28.
34-28. Okay. I'm going 31-18. Eagles. And I'm kind of inspired by we can switch to Whatcha Watchin. Have you seen The Bullies of Baltimore?
I got it recorded. I started, but I didn't finish. It was too late at night.
Yeah, it's kind of a long one. I missed like the first 20 minutes of it, and then I saw like the next 45. It's a 30 for 30, so it kind of doesn't matter when you jump in, especially if you know the story and all the players and stuff. So I've seen over the course of the past 2 days, I've seen like an hour of it, I think. And it's good. It's just whatever. But even that Super Bowl run, I was like, man, the good defense went in there and kind of dominated. Like, I think the Eagles could do it. It inspired me to think that the Eagles could win by a spread, where most of the Super Bowls seem to be pretty close these days.
Well, they win the Super Bowl, then they're not that, but Jalen's definitely going to ask for that bag. I need that bag, buddy. There's going to be a lot of paid quarterbacks coming through here.
It is. Which is kind of crazy because now everybody's starting to pay the defensive side of the ball, and it's like, whoa, we're going to get back to this place of having to make decisions, not just paying quarterbacks.
I mean, not really. The cap is $228 million. You just have to navigate it correctly. Like quarterback,
right.
$40 million of your cap shouldn't hamper you that much. Not if no one else is making more than 20. And a lot of people don't have $20 million defensive backs. Like, sorry, some people are worth it, some are not.
Yeah, but if you have a $20 million or let's say $15 million defensive back, a $20 million or $15 million linebacker, and a $20 to $25 million defensive lineman, that takes up a big chunk, and that's 3 positions on defense. Plus, you got to pay a wide receiver and either a tight end or a running back. Usually, is one or the other. So, I mean, that's usually $190 million right there.
Got to stop playing running backs, and being that we got a franchise Tony Pollard, you know what that means. Finally, bye Ezekiel. Have fun on the open market.
Zeke's just gonna go to the Texans. He's like, I don't want to move far.
Have fun. Go to the Texans. Play back up to Dameon Pierce.
Either that, or he does the Ricky Williams and goes to Miami.
Welcome to Miami. Bienvenido a Miami.
So are you watching anything now that football has kind of gone down, or are you ramping up with basketball?
No, I've been really sitting there watching no TV. Just a whole bunch of shit going on.
Ooh, buddy, let me tell you.
A whole bunch of life shit going on, bro. So, yeah, nothing going on. So keep me updated. What's going on? What's new?
Shrinking on Apple TV?
Oh, no, hold on. I did watch one show. Hold on. Before, what's the name of it? It's a cooking show.
Pressure Cooker.
There you go. Oh, I told you about that already.
I remember that from 2 weeks ago.
All right, cool. Never mind.
Is that one good, though? Are you enjoying it still?
That shit was good. It's over now. I watched it.
Okay. There was a new one on Netflix I thought you might dive into just as like boring in the background stuff, the Physical 100, just because it's
I
weird.
haven't seen it yet.
It's just like some random like strong person competition. I don't even know what it is, but it looks silly. But Shrinking on Apple TV Plus is awesome with Jason Segel. It's very funny, pretty dark but funny.
Shrinking?
Shrinking, yep.
And what are they, just shrinking people?
Actually, Jason Segel's a psychiatrist going through a very tough mental thing, but he's still a psychiatrist.
Oh, shrinking.
Yep, like Shrink, psychiatrist, Shrink. Blah, blah. It's funny because it's really dark, it's really witty, and the new show, The Last of Us. Mike, you would love this show, I think. It is not something I would want to watch normally. I just happened to put it on because I was like, you know what? Don't be an asshole. Just put on this show that seems to be cool. Even though the premise and everything that's on the list of what this show is like, not for me, not for me, not for me, not for me. I was just like, just stop being in your own way. Try something that you don't, it's like I didn't like ketchup for a long time. Used to love it and then I hated it. And then after a while, I was like, oh, you know what? It's been a long time. I do like ketchup. So I just threw this stupid thing on for the ketchup theory. And it's like the best new show on television. It's so well done. It's so well done. It's on like the fourth episode, I think. And like the opening scene is there's a character holding a gun that they just acquired in the end of the last episode. And they're like holding it up to a mirror and like checking it out, like doing all the things like click and unclick and stuff. And while I'm thinking, are there any bullets in there? Or do they have any bullets? Because they didn't show that. They just showed them picking something up. They literally, it's like the character pulls out the clip and like reveals what they've got or whatever. And it's like, it's just so sharp that it's almost like they wrote the episode, watched it, and then was like, hey, anybody have any questions about what happened? And then they rewrote in details and reshot it. It was just like they proofread their own script so many times. It feels like it's bulletproof. There's not any wasted scenes. There's no wasted dialogue. And the action is fucking pretty awesome. I can't oversell this enough. It's a great show. I highly recommend it to anybody that has HBO Max, really.
I might give it a look at some point.
Yeah, it's not something you need to jump in right away. But yeah, definitely like next weekend when you're like, hey, where's the football? You can go throw on The Last of Us and see if you like it.
That would be All-Star Weekend, man. Next weekend is All-Star Weekend. That's the great thing about the Super Bowl. Super Bowl weekend then always followed by All-Star Weekend. And then the NBA starts for real.
Yeah, but NBA All-Star Weekend, it's kind of a drag.
Well, not now. The All-Star game, they got the Elam ending, so it gets kind of... You get the kind of hooping at the end.
I don't remember the new format because I kind of got over it. I wouldn't even watch the game for like the last 8 years.
I wouldn't even.
I would just bet the over and then know that I was cashing in. That was it. That's all I would do. And every year they kept upping it. It's like 260, 280, 312 points. It's like, doesn't matter. Bet the over. And it hits every time.
Now it's the Elam ending. So they set to a number and then they got to get to that number. Oh, it gets a little bit more than it has been.
All right. Well, I'll tune back into that then. I'll check out the NBA All-Star. I got no issues with that. I did, just to wrap up on everything, I did one of those things that everybody kind of hates probably. I don't know. I shouldn't speak for anybody except myself. But I did one of those things where I started watching a show that everybody's been into for a long time that I'm like, and I'll start watching it now. And so I started watching Stranger Things. Did you ever watch it?
Never seen an episode.
Me neither.
About 3 shows like that people tell me about that people are so into that I've never seen. It's Stranger Things, Sons of Anarchy, and Breaking Bad. I have a lot of people that told me all 3 shows are like great shows and I should watch, and I've never seen a single episode of any.
So I
tried to do Sons of Anarchy, but I just couldn't. Like I couldn't get through episode 1. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, honestly, Sons of Anarchy is something where I think you might have some fun with it, but I wouldn't necessarily be like, oh, dude, go watch this show. You got to watch it. Like, eh. I mean, I highly enjoyed it, but I don't know that you would. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's a great show if you're into that thing. But if you're not into that thing, then it's kind of whatever.
Yeah, I've heard quite a few people tell me how great of a show it is. I might try it again. But that's the same thing people said about Ozark. Like, it was a lot of, watch Ozark. And
See, I watched I watched the first 2 episodes, was like kind of whatever. Went back to watch the next 2 like a month later. And was like, yeah, this show just isn't for me. And then I heard it fizzled out pretty terribly. It was like basically the first season and a half was good, and then it wasn't good anymore. Like, yeah, I could kind of tell in the first couple episodes that it wasn't going to string for very long. You know, it's like a pimple, not a peak.
Yeah,
but I did start watching Stranger Things, so I'm a couple episodes in, and I get the allure to it. I mean,
Are Things Stranger?
Yeah. I'm going to give the first season a whole go through so they can kind of really explain the story, because I think the whole thing to it is like, after the season was over, it's like, oh man, that was awesome and different. When's the next thing? And then they really poured a lot of time and effort into it, more than they did the first one, because they knew they had a hit. So the fact that they're still, and the only reason why I'm doing this is the same thing I did with Breaking Bad. It's 4 seasons in is when I'm like, okay, when I turn on TV by myself, this is what I'll watch until I get through it. And it became easy to do that and easy to watch and binge at times. But the reason why I did that was because it got through its 3-season lull thing where it can have its arc and then need to come back up in season 4. People are still on board and they're going to come out with a new season. Okay, I'll jump in on that. So that's what I'm doing. And I know I have time. If I have 4 seasons of Stranger Things to get through and they don't come out with a new season till, I don't know, the end of the year, I'm in the clear. I'm good. So I wanted to ask you, as we round this episode out for this week, speaking of Stranger Things and Breaking Bad and Sons of Anarchy, what are your top 5 TV series of all time? I think I know what number 1 is.
Anybody who knows me knows what number 1 is.
Sesame Street.
It's not in question. The greatest TV series that has ever played on television in the history of the world.
The other kind of streets. The Wire.
There you go. The Wire. Shout out to my man Marlo, my man, you know what I mean? Shout out R.I.P. to my man Omar. You know, but yeah, that's the greatest show TV show I've ever watched. I'm a Wire fan, and I watch it over and over again.
Every summer. At least.
Number two is Martin.
Nice.
But it's a close number 2 to my number 3, which is Friends. I love Friends. Friends is such a great fucking show. Friends is such a funny fucking show. Okay, what anybody tells you, Friends is a great show.
It is. It's not anywhere near my top 5, but it's a great show.
No, Friends is definitely number 3. I've watched Friends. And the thing about it, I only started Friends for the first time in like 2014 or 15.
Yeah.
And I've seen it at least 3 times all the way through now. Like, that's how good of a show it is to me. Friends is fucking hilarious. Number 4 is a show that probably most people don't know, but The League is off now. That is my shit.
The League was great.
The League is my shit. What would be number 5? Number 5 is what's your boy name on Showtime? Ray Donovan. I'm a Ray Donovan fan. Ray Donovan is my shit.
Nice. Now that we just went through yours, I'm thinking we did this before, but we may have had a couple of different answers, or maybe it was just a casual thing before we started doing the top 5 at the end of the show.
Maybe.
Because mine are in no necessarily
Or
particular.
maybe you just know me well. And
maybe that's also the case where we've just had this conversation before and not recorded it.
we aren't just like
we do like to smoke weed and hang out.
We're real friends. For anybody who doesn't know that, like
I didn't just hire this black guy.
Yeah.
He's doing it for free.
We are random hired plans. That's why we argue. That's why we go back and forth like we do. 'Cause we are real friends. So sometimes it gets heated on here. So these arguments you see aren't fake or staged. He got under my skin a little because guess what? I love him and he can. And I get under his skin sometimes. You know why? Because he loves me and I can.
That's right.
So
and we move on. We rebalance and we keep going. My top 5 in no particular order. Rescue Me. That one hits home for me. I've watched it over a few times. It's a Dennis Leary, who I have loved as a comedian anyway. Good actor, great actor. Irish alcoholic fireman in New York after 9/11, and he's got to pick up the pieces of all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, I relate to a lot of these things. I was just not around 9/11 or firefighter, although I was in fire ROTC. So Rescue Me is always going to be, that's like the drama. That's my Sopranos, baby. Is Rescue Me.
Sopranos was good.
Sopranos was good.
Maybe. Great show.
Seinfeld. I grew up on Seinfeld. I've seen every episode. I'm not joking. The minimum I've seen every episode, including like the first season not great ones, is at least 15 times. And the ones that I've seen a lot are 30 to 40. Like that in my house constantly. That's what my parents were watching. Martin also grew up on Martin. My parents always, that was religious watching. It was like when Martin came on, it was like, well, everybody's doing the song and dance. And that was what we did. Ray Donovan's on my top 5. Ray Donovan, it's even when it had the dips, it never really dipped. Like that show was, it plateaued for a couple of seasons, but it never dipped. It's just one of the stronger things I've seen in a long time. And the movie, Mike, is so good. It's so good. I'm so mad at you that you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I might put it on when we get off right here. Like as soon as I get off here,
it is so good.
I ain't doing shit else.
It is so good. And then text me after you watch it if you do, and you could be like, "Yep, should have." Glad I watched it, because it doesn't necessarily mean you should have seen it sooner. You watch it when you're ready, and that's when it hits you the best. And then the last one, this one may be the best just because it's one of the best ever. The Simpsons.
Yeah, you know what Simpsons are? Simpsons is one of the greatest shows ever, and it predicts all of the future. So if you go back and watch The Simpsons, you probably can tell me what the hell is about to happen.
But here's the other thing that's wonderful about The Simpsons and that whole thing is all they were doing, like throughout all of their history, is a lot of it was just thought-provoking silliness stuff that they're like, hey, we're looking at these societal trends, and if we're not careful, some of this stuff may happen, and they make funny goofs about it. But then the thing is, they did 1 million of those. So probably 100 are going to be true. You know what I mean? It's just funny, like the Venn diagram of like what actually happened versus what they were just like, we threw out everything. Something was bound to stick in the future 20 years later. You know, it's just like, it's silly and fun.
When you say it like that, yeah.
But I will say honorable mentions, Billions. I think that's one of the better written shows in a long time.
Honorable mention, they were actually on. I actually just thought about that. Billions is a great show. Watch that shit.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Billions is a great show. Hell yeah.
When did you start watching it?
I watched Billions when it first started, like a long time ago. Billions been on for a while.
I can run back so many different programs where you're like, okay, I'm going to start Billions maybe after The Wire, but I've never seen it before.
Oh no! Billions is a good show. I watched Billions. Yeah, I watched Billions when it first started, but I might have fell off for a while. But okay. No, I definitely watched Billions when it first started.
Okay,
it did. Like, oh, I need to watch a new season or something like that.
Billions did the thing where it had a very high arc. The season 1, season 2 arc was huge, and then season 3 was a direct decline because it just repeated season 2 in a different way, and then season 4 was kind of like most of it was still sideways. They're trying to figure out characters, and then towards the end it picked up, and then 5 and 6 are like the best seasons yet.
Oh, hold on. I gotta change my top 5. To hell with that, because I left my show off. I left Blacklist off my top 5. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking and how I missed that, and I don't know who goes. The Blacklist is on the list, okay? So
That's
just
fair.
Everyone understand.
We'll just
Blacklist
put somebody
is on
else
the
in
agenda.
honorable mention. Ka-chunk. No problem.
Yeah, the Blacklist is a great show. Now, when I say great show, Blacklist is a great show.
My other two honorable mentions are Family Matters and Breaking Bad. Because Breaking Bad was one of those shows where I waited the 4 seasons, jumped in because everybody was on fire about it. And I was like, yeah, this is a really good show. Like, I don't know about stop your life to watch it when it comes on, like people were doing, having watch parties. Like, what are you doing? Smoking meth and watching Breaking Bad? How do you have a Breaking Bad watch party? Is ridiculous. But
no, you know people who used to they planned their day around Breaking Bad coming on.
Yeah, crazy. Dress up like in hazmat suits to watch a fucking TV show in your living room. Weirdness. Not like that. Not Game of Thrones with meth. I'm not doing that. But
and Game of Thrones, I know people who are like that about Game of Thrones too.
Oh yeah, pretty much any white person you knew besides me. It was a thing. And here's the thing. Now that that's completely over, I'll Sopranos that thing. Like in a few years, when I have like a week off and nothing to do, I'll be like, I'm gonna fire up Game of Thrones.
I've never seen that either. Actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, me neither. Lots of boobies in it, I guess, which is cool. Lots of people dying by sword. But the thing you wouldn't like is there's lots of dragons.
Oh, well, I know it's make-believe. Helps me watch it. Helps me deal with the death better.
There you go.
Really dying. They're fake dying.
They're fake dying. They're fake sacrificing things. They're fake doing all this weird stuff. But you know what's not fake, Mike? You. You're not fake.
You're not fake either, man.
I know. It gets me in a lot of trouble. But that's okay. I'm willing to deal with it.
It's all good, bro. Be you and let
it's all good, baby. So while we're all being good, be good to us. Follow us, share us, give us a click of some kind. It helps. It's fun to see that we're dancing around in a bunch of different weird places. I don't usually care how many streams and stuff we get, although the numbers keep going up, which is delightful. But when I see them in random places, that's my fun stuff. Like when I do my once a week upload, I'll check on last week, like, hey, where did this thing roll out to? And it's like, the more countries, the better. And it only helps by you clicking and sharing and telling people about it. So please do. If you want to, you can follow us at Black Irish Pod. You can follow Mike at Black Irish 213, myself at Brendan McCorkle Comedy. And do yourself a favor. Be good to yourself today. And if you feel like it, be good to somebody else. I love you, Mike. I'm so glad you're here. Glad we got to do this thing. And I love your red hat.
Love you too, my guy. Man, check on your people, man. I know you don't talk to your people every day. Not just you, Brendan, but anybody who's listening. Check on your people. Tell them you love them, man. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow. So, enjoy today, man. Love you all. Peace.
Peace.